Hello students, in this part we will be talking about the structure of bacterial cell. In last session we have discussed about various characteristic feature of the bacteria, okay, like we have discussed about shape, then flagella, mode of nutrition, mode of respiration, and then we have also discussed about the mode of reproduction and the nature of the bacteria, that is on the basis of the staining technique, okay, whether the bacteria consists of more peptidoglycan or less peptidoglycan. Now, in this session, we will be talking about the structure of bacterial cell. So, here you can see it is an structure or a microscopic structure which has been observed under microscope, okay, and or electron microscope. So, we get such an image of the bacteria. Now, let's describe the structure of bacteria. So, bacteria we know that they are found everywhere. So, what they are called as cosmopolitan, right? So, generally bacteria consists of a cell envelope. It consists of a cell envelope. Now, cell envelope can also be referred as the capsule, okay. Now, the cell envelope is made up of 3 layers. And what are those? The outer glycocalyx, the outer glycocalyx, then this black one inner, okay, which is called as the cell wall. See, we have also discussed about the bacterial cell means outermost layer is cell wall, but still to the outermost layer, okay, on the cell wall there is a thick layer, okay, and the thick layer is made up of glycocalyx. Now, an innermost membrane is called cell membrane. Cell membrane is also called as the plasma membrane. So, these are the parts of the what we say cell envelope, okay. So, now the glycocalyx, let's see about the glycocalyx, then we will see about cell wall and cell membrane finally. So, what is glycocalyx? Glycocalyx, it is consisting of 2 types of structures, okay. Either it can be referred as a tough surface on the bacterial cell, okay. Either it will form a tough surface. If it is forming a tough surface, then it will be known as capsule. See, when we talk about bacteria, they are disease causing also, right? So, how do they cause disease? Means, if their outer membrane is not protected, okay, or it is not been digested by the antibodies secreted by the living organisms, then it will be acting as a harmful. And why it is? It is due to the such a tough envelope of the glycocalyx, okay. If glycocalyx is tough, I'll write here. If glycocalyx is tough, okay, it will form the capsule. It will form the capsule. And if the glycocalyx, it is slimy, another part is like apart from tough, it might be the slimy also, or consisting of slime layer, okay, soft. So, it can be referred as the slimy. Now, this if it is slimy, then there will be degradation of that slimy layer, and which will be responsible for degrading that bacteria, okay. Now, these are formed in 2 different bacteria, okay. Like if the bacteria has the tough glycocalyx, it can be referred as the capsulated one, okay. It can be referred as the capsulated bacteria. Capsulated bacteria, right. If it is absent, it is referred as non-capsulated bacteria. Now, what is the chemical composition of this glycocalyx? This glycocalyx is generally made up of the polysaccharides. It is made up of polysaccharides and polypeptides plus polypeptides. That means it consists of certain carbohydrates or the sugars, as well as it consists of the proteins also. Okay, that is polypeptides. While here the slimy layer or the that is the soft layer of the glycocalyx is composed of only polysaccharides. Okay, so this is the information about the glycocalyx. Okay, that is the outermost part of the bacterial cell, or it is the first part of the cell envelope. Now, another part of the cell envelope is the cell wall. Okay, so we have already discussed about the cell wall. What it is? It is the protective covering. Okay, it is the protective covering. Now, second is the cell wall. Okay, so cell wall means it is protective in covering or protective in function, and it is composed of a component that is called peptidoglycan. Now this peptidoglycan, it is also composed of the polysaccharides, okay, and which are those? These are the NAG and NAM. What is NAG and NAM? N-acetyl glucosamine and N-acetyl muramic acid. Okay, so these are the two components which forms these peptidoglycan. Okay, so it is not just a polysaccharide; it is also the peptides. Okay, it also involves the polypeptide. So there is a cross linking of these polymers. Okay, that is N-acetyl glucosamine and N-acetyl muramic acid. Okay, so these polymers, they are cross linked in such a way that they forms the multi-layered structure. Okay, but it is not multi-layered; it is single layered only. But the layer will be thick in the gram-positive type of bacteria. Okay, because the peptidoglycan concentration in the gram-positive bacteria, it is more. That can be considered as like 60 to 80 nanometer. Okay, in thickness, and while in case of gram negative, it is 20 nanometer in thickness. So, and here you can see the peptidoglycan, it is present in the cell wall, which is composed of these two units, polymer unit. Okay, so, and on the basis of what, we can also classify the bacteria into two main types, that is gram positive and gram negative. Okay, so gram positive and gram negative are the two types of bacteria on the basis of presence of the peptidoglycan. If peptidoglycan layer is thick, then it is the gram positive bacteria because it will absorb the crystal violet stain, and if the bacterial cell wall consisting of less peptidoglycan, that means it is the gram negative bacteria because it will retain the crystal violet stain and absorb some another stain, right? So that is how we can differentiate the cell wall of the bacteria. Now the third part of the cell envelope is cell membrane. Now what is cell membrane? Cell membrane is generally referred as the plasma membrane, and we know the plasma membrane has certain functions. What are those functions of the plasma membrane? It is usually involved in the process of transportation. Okay, third part, that is the plasma membrane involved in transportation. Okay, and what it transports? It transports certain proteins, okay, or any biomolecule around the cell or cell membrane to the another cell during the exchange, okay, of certain substances from the outer surrounding. This cell membrane helps in the transportation, right? Now, the cell membrane consists of lipid molecules, okay, it consists of lipid molecules. So generally when we talk about the cell membrane structure, it is generally a lipid bilayer, okay, or it is single layered lipid structure. In case of gram positive bacteria, it is single layered structure. In case of gram negative bacteria, it is lipid bilayer. Now what are lipids? These are the small units, okay, which or simply we can call it them the micelle. When micelle combine together, they form the lipid structure, and this lipid structure helps in transportation of the biomolecule. Okay, if we talk about the structure of the lipids, it's like this. It consists of a hydrophilic head and the hydrophobic tail. Now, what is meant by hydrophilic? Hydrophilic means water loving, it can absorb the water, but hydrophobic means it inhibit the entry of the water, right? So, in such a way, if single layer is there, so single chain will be formed, and if bilayered structure is there, then at the opposite end we can see the similar structures. Okay, so this is called the bilayered structure of the cell membrane, and the function is to transport the nutrients as well as the proteins or the essentials by the bacteria. Okay, so that is what cell membrane do. Okay, now the cell membrane in the bacterial cell consists of certain foldings. Okay, it is not just a continuous membrane, it has certain foldings like this. Here you can see and here you can see. These foldings are called as the mesosomes. These are called as mesosomes. In early class also we have discussed about mesosome, right? During binary fission, as well as we have discussed about the mesosome during the transformation, right? So these mesosomes are also acting as a genetic material, and what is their main function? To carry the genetic information, right? They help in the process of protein synthesis again. So they are also responsible for basically generation of the power. They are acting as a mitochondria also. Mitochondria. We know the mitochondria, it is called as the powerhouse of cell. But in case of prokaryotic or the bacterial cell, we don't have the mitochondria. So how do the power is generated? It is generated with the help of mesosome. Okay, and these are the folded structures formed by the cell membrane. Next to that, we have the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the site for occurrence of various biochemical reactions like aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration takes place within the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm consists of various proteins, enzymes, hormones, okay, which are responsible for regulation of the biochemical activities within the bacterial cell. Then we have the single stranded DNA, okay, or a single stranded naked DNA. Single circular DNA, you can see single circular DNA. Now single circular DNA in the sense what? When we talk about DNA, that is the genetic material in most of the eukaryotes, it is double helical structure, right? You might be studied in class 10th also that the structure is double helical. Okay, it looks like a rope and forms the helices, but here it is single circular. Okay, it is single circular and which is also called naked. Okay, which is naked. Why it is called naked? Because the DNA it is present within the nuclear envelope, but in case of prokaryote there is no nuclear envelope, right? No nuclear membrane is there. So the structure is also referred as the nucleoid, okay, that is without the nuclear membrane. And as nuclear membrane is not there, there is also absence of the proteins, okay. Which proteins? Like histones. Histones are the proteins which holds the DNA in a complex or a compressed manner, okay. So here there are no histone proteins, no histone proteins are there, but the structure is compressed, okay. Then next, this is called as the nucleoid or the naked single circular DNA. Apart from this, within the cell cytoplasm, we can also see the presence of extra chromosomal set of DNA. Okay, yesterday we have discussed during conjugation, right? So conjugation means it is a type of reproduction in the bacteria by formation of a conjugation tube. So where the part of plasmid is transferred, right? So it is the plasmid which is called extra chromosomal set of DNA, which is called extra chromosomal set of DNA, and having certain antibiotic resistant genes. So when there is application of certain antibiotics onto the bacteria and they are not killed, why? Because they consist of certain genes which are responsible for resisting this bacteria against those antibiotics. Okay, so on the basis of function, the plasmids can be of different types. Like there is a R plasmid. So R stands for resistance. Okay, R plasmid is there. R stands for resistance. It consists of resistance genes. Okay, antibiotic resistance genes are there. If we take an example of plasmid, there is a plasmid called PBR 322. This is the name of plasmid. Now what is PBR? P stands for plasmid, B stands for Bolivar, R for Rodriguez. This is the name of scientist who has invented this plasmid, and 322 is the order of discovery. So the cell which is been discovered at, means he failed at 321 times and he succeeded at 322 times. So he gave the name PBR 322, right? So this plasmid consists of certain genes onto it. Okay, and these genes are the antibiotic resistance genes, ampicillin resistant gene, tetracycline resistant gene. Either they can have the kanamycin also. Okay, so different antibiotic resistant genes are present on the plasmid. So that is called R plasmid. Another type of plasmid is called col plasmid. That is consisting of colchicine. Okay, this colchicine acts. It is involved in the inhibition of the spindle assembly. Okay, inhibition of the spindle assembly. So generally it inhibits the spindle formation. Okay, colchicine consisting. Then another type of plasmid we have the TI plasmid. Okay, TI means tumor inducing plasmid. Most of the bacteria, yesterday we have discussed about symbiotic type of bacteria, right? So bacteria, when they form colonies around the root of leguminous plant, okay, they infect those roots and forms the tumor. Okay, so what that is called tumor inducing plasmid. Okay, and that tumor is nothing but the place where this bacteria will live. They will multiply and they will accumulate their nutrition by the plants. Okay, so that is TI plasmid. So there are different category of plasmid on the basis of their function, right? And this plasmid is nothing but an extra chromosomal set of DNA. Now, number wise, the plasmid may vary from 1 to 50 in a bacterial cell. Okay. Apart from this, we have the flagella, right? We have also discussed about the flagella. What is flagella? It is nothing but a locomotory organ of the bacteria. Okay, consisting of the basal body. This part is the basal body. Okay, you can add here basal body. Then this is the hook, and this is the filament. Togetherly, these are called as the flagella, right? So the basal body consists of rings. Yesterday we have discussed about it. The gram negative bacteria consists of 4 rings, while gram positive bacteria consists of 2 rings, right? So the rings are arranged. To these rings there will be attachment of the hook. From hook the filament will be attached, which consists of flagellin protein. Okay. Now the function is it helps in the movement of the bacteria. Apart from this, we have some other structures which are also found onto the cell or the cell envelope, that is called pili. Okay. Now pili, yesterday also we have discussed in the conjugation that pili are the reproductive organs, and these pili they have two different structures. If the pili are small, they are referred as the fimbriae. And if the pili, they are elongated, okay. So, or this elongated structure, it is single, so we can call it as a pilus, okay. So, that is the sexual organ and help in the formation of a conjugation type of reproduction, okay. So, it can also be referred as the F. pilus, okay. So, that is about the bacterial cell. Now, cytoplasm is there, which consists of lipid molecules within it, okay. You can also show like this, lipid globules, right. Then you can also show the presence of the ribosomes. Ribosomes are also present in this, okay. Then etc. So, this is the structure of bacteria, and on the basis of various aspects we have discussed, generally this structure of a rod shaped bacteria. We can also consider the cocci shaped bacteria, Vibrio, all may have similar structures, okay. Then on the basis of mode of nutrition, the bacteria can be autotrophic or the heterotrophic, okay. In autotrophic we have discussed about it, that this can be the photoautotrophic or the chemoautotrophic, okay. So, here you can see the different structures, and on the basis of these structures we can explain the structure of bacteria. I hope you are getting all this information. We will discuss about the prokaryote and the prokaryotes and their types, that is the gram positive and gram negative. The difference we will see in the next part, and then we will discuss about the cyanobacteria, mycoplasma, rickettsia, some other types of bacteria, okay. Thank you.